Are you ready to hoist the colors? Now, time for the most in-depth look at the world of ECU athletics. Welcome in to Hoist the Colors with your host, Stephen Igo on 94.3 The Game. Watch the show live on Facebook and at 943thegame.com. Now, here's your host, Stephen Igo.
Welcome in, Hoist the Colors on a Monday. It is March 24th. Pirates coming off a weekend sweep. The ECU baseball team begins American Athletic Conference play with a sweep of Memphis to start the potential defense of their regular season championship. We'll get into that and a whole lot more. If you're with us early at 10 a.m., we're live streaming on YouTube and Facebook. If you got a question, comment, a concern, drop it there. We will answer it over the course of the next hour. This will air, of course, in its regular noon slot at 12 noon on 94.3 The Game, where you can also listen to ECU baseball play each and every game. Dylan Johnson, Coach O, on the calls there. Also do want to address, I know we've been having an issue with our podcast via the Spotify and Apple Podcast app. We're working through that. Should have that back up here in the coming days. So we'll try to get that, but you can always listen to the archive show on YouTube and Facebook. All right, in studio today, we're going to catch up with Cliff Godwin here in a little bit, but we've got East Carolina freshman pitcher Sean Jenkins back. Sean, how's it going, man?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. We got a lot to discuss. We were catching up pre-show about some walk-up songs. Your first flight coming up. We'll discuss all that as well. But first off, man, congrats on the outing on Sunday. We'll talk about the different role, so to speak, of coming out of the bullpen, although still, going the distance as far as, starter-type innings. But before we get into that specifically, man, just how good was it to be a part of a weekend sweep to begin conference play, kind of set the tone right out of the gate?
Yeah, it was definitely really cool. It was good to see, our pitching get back on track, which is kind of something we struggled with throughout the midweek, and it was good to see the offense explode during that last game and see guys like, Davin get his first career homer. So it was really cool to see. Yeah,
you guys as a staff, man, allowed, I think, 4 runs over 3 games, 2 on Friday and then 1 apiece Saturday, Sunday. So, anytime – I don't know. Do y'all celebrate that in any way with AK, or is it just I don't know what y'all expect at this point?
We'll get a really good lunch here for the sweep, and then if we throw a shutout, we're supposed to get pitcher's BP, but we've yet to get that. So it's probably one of those things that they say, but it never happens.
Yeah, it's incentive that never comes. But hey, at least it keeps you motivated, I guess, in theory. Yep. But yeah, 4 runs in 3 games, pretty dang good by the Pirates as they sweep Memphis. All right, so let's talk about your outing, and we'll start with Jackson DiLorenzo, man. And we know as people have watched this program, he has talent, and he goes out there as the opener yesterday and throws a clean inning. So I know you're focused on your own outing at that point, but how good was it to see Jackson kind of set the tone too?
Yeah, that sets the tone for pretty much the whole game. Because, especially now in the bullpen, our job is to close out each individual inning. So he goes out there and closes out the first, and my job is not to worry about the rest of the game at that point. It's just how can I close out the second, and once you get done with that one, close out the third.
So it's not like you're going into the mentality of, hey, I have to go 3, 4, 5 innings, so I just need to get to the second.
I have faith in the bullpen guys behind me, and if I can just close out that second inning, then it puts us in a good spot.
Sean Jenkins with us in studio. So I noticed, post game you talked about it was more of a mentality thing than a physical thing that you talked about with AK, and you mentioned specifically, and I think Cliff did as well, just getting that compete mindset, not worrying about maybe pitch 50, but just pitch the pitch. Is that kind of? Would you agree with that assessment?
Yeah, I wrote under my hat before the game started, comfort kills dreams. I felt like because of the fall that I had, you feel like you're, I don't want to say owed success, but it's going to come just because of the previous success you've had. And, in college baseball, it is extremely hard to get outs and to win games. So I think I just needed to get a reset. And, AK and Coach Godwin did a really good job this past week of us talking through how to get back to that point mentally.
Sean Jenkins with us in studio, and I noticed too your two-seamer seemed to have a ton of movement. Look, your fastball's always been good. Did you throw it more yesterday? Was it just more locked in? I don't know.
Yeah, I definitely threw it a lot more yesterday. It's something that me and AK have kind of been playing with, and it turned out to be really good yesterday. So I'm super happy with where that pitch is at.
Yeah, it was like I was watching on the TV feed. I took yesterday off, and it was just cutting back in from you would start it outside, it would hit the outside corner. So, is that something you threw much in high school, or is that just something that's developed more here?
Yeah, I never threw like a sink or two seam before I got here. That's something that I didn't even throw in the fall. I just picked it up in the past week or so.
Okay. Well, hey, it's working pretty good, and obviously, big difference between a four-seamer and a two-seamer is if you're the hitter trying to barrel that thing up. So, you've mentioned, look, college baseball is difficult. You're facing some, obviously, we talked about it, you're 17. You're facing some 22, 23-year-old in some cases, and these guys are good. So just what's the learning curve, for lack of a better term, been like trying to figure out how to navigate some older hitters who have seen a lot at this level?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just learning how to truly pitch. Throughout high school, it was kind of like I could just purely beat you with my stuff, but here that's not the case. So it's truly learning how can I effectively get guys out and like doing scouting and figuring out what their weaknesses are and pitching towards their weaknesses.
We saw a lot of the slider yesterday as well, and do you feel like that's something you've always had that, I assume, and that's a pitch that's progressing as well? Yeah,
it was really good for me in the fall and throughout the preseason, and as we got into the season, I kind of lost it, but I was able to kind of find it again yesterday, which is really good for me because that's a pitch that I need to be able to go to.
Sean Jenkins with us. What's it like from start to start now with AK and Cliff Godwin? You guys are a little over a month in the season. How's the process been of, each time you go out there, you're learning something new about yourself and yourself as a pitcher, mentally, physically, and kind of take us like through the review process. Let's say now you're getting ready for next week against Rice. Like, what will this week be like in terms of prep and review and everything?
Yeah, well, I would say I'm definitely a lot more analytical than the average person. So I'll go back normally either the night I pitch or the day after, just depending on how it goes. Because if it doesn't go great, I try to get far away from baseball as I possibly can, just so that way it's not consuming me. So I'll go through that night or the day after, and I'll journal everything. I'll watch film, and then normally me and AK will meet the day after just to talk about what he saw, and we kind of collaborate, and then we make a plan kind of for what to attack that coming up week, and then be ready to roll for the next weekend.
Cliff said at one point he had to tell you to like go play video games for an hour a day. Did you end up doing that or doing something else?
Well, I've been fishing a lot more recently.
Okay.
Me and a couple buddies that's something we started doing. So I'm not a big video games guy, but anything to just really get away.
So you're not playing MLB The Show yet?
No, I know my brother. He has it, so I assume whenever they come down next, I'll probably just try it out with him.
Okay.
But I'm not a huge video games guy by any means.
We had Alex Boucher in last week, and I don't think he's a big video games guy either, but he says Dixon Williams, his roommate, claims that when the game comes out and he's hitting well in the game, it carries over into real life. So I don't know. I don't know how that philosophy works out for him.
Yeah, I don't think it works like that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if it's going to help his confidence, I mean, why not?
It's all. I mean, baseball is such a mental game. It's like, I don't know. It's one of those things, whatever it takes sometimes. Do you have any crazy, like, pregame routines that you have to follow, or you just feel off if you don't follow them? Like superstition type deals?
I'm definitely routine oriented, but at the end of the day, like, you can't let superstitions and routines affect how you perform. So, like, I have obviously, like, I'll try to eat like a really good meal, and then I'll have all my warm up stuff. But there's not anything that, like, it's not a checklist. Like, I don't have to do these things to feel like I can go out there and pitch. Because at the end of the day, once I get on the mound, it's all about competing, and nothing that happened in the warm up is gonna affect that.
No doubt. Mustache March. How's the mustache looking?
Well, this is all I have, and I haven't shaved since I've been back from Christmas break.
Okay.
So not great, but hey, I'm trying my best.
I mean, for a freshman and 17, like, I think it's pretty good. I mean, I've definitely seen worse on this team.
I mean, it's getting there a little bit.
Yeah. Have you already been eliminated in the bracket? Do you know?
Most likely.
Okay.
Yeah. I think I won the first round, but I can't imagine I'm going to get much farther than that.
We'll try to get a look during the break at the updated bracket. I assume that's still ongoing. I saw the initial bracket release, so we'll get a look. Jake Hunter's going to win, though, right?
Yeah, by far. It's not even close.
He is the consensus #1 overall seed. It'll be a shock if anybody knocks him off. All right, I'll tell you what, we'll get a break in. We'll come back. We'll have another segment with Sean. We'll discuss his walk-up song. We'll get into that. We kind of have some things in common there. And also get into some more things with Sean Jenkins after this ECU pitcher. We'll be right back.
Acre Station Meat Farm, along with Lane Angus Beef, bring you Farm to Fork Beef.
Stock your freezers now with affordable beef boxes, just in time for the grilling season.
Farm to Fork Beef brings quality local beef to your family. From your traditional butcher shop, Acre Station Meat Farm. Come on down to Acre Station Meat Farm and find out why we're #1 in fresh cuts and friendly service.
Acre Station Meat Farm, Highway 32 North, Pinetown.
Living easy is the sound of children laughing as you make memories with neighbors and friends. It's the sound of nothing at all. It's the smell of the salt air. Hear the waters against the marsh grass. See the beauty of our coast. Bow Coast, located in Beaufort, North Carolina. Southern Living's best small town.
Other restaurants claim their food is fresh and fast, but are they friendly? At Moore's, you're treated like family the minute you walk into their doors. With locations in Winterville, New Bern, Swansboro, Morehead City, and Jacksonville. We've been practicing what we preach since 1945. At Moore's, our barbecue is slow cooked and smoked over real wood daily until it's so tender it's falling off the bone. Combined with our fresh chicken, cooked to order seafood, and homemade fixins, we're sure you'll agree. If it's not Moore's, it's less.
This is about you, your family, and the health of all who live in Eastern North Carolina. This is about the transformation of a health system into something more powerful and more human, about creating new ways to treat disease and keep you well. This is about ECU Health, which is to say, it's really all about you. ECU Health. Minds, hearts, purpose.
Big tax credits are back. Get a 30% tax credit, up to $2,000 off your new Mitsubishi electric heat pump install. Let Comfort Master help you take advantage of the tax credits with a qualifying Mitsubishi electric ducted heat pump or non-ducted Mitsubishi electric mini splits. Mitsubishi electric mini splits are ideal for bonus rooms, garages, or sunrooms. If you need a new HVAC unit, call Comfort Master today.
Call Comfort Master. Call Comfort Master.
Here there be pirates. Back to Hoist the Colors with Stephen Igo. How good is this on 94.3 The Game?
All right, welcome back in. Hoist the Colors here on a Monday. We're live streaming a little early today, and we're reviewing the Mustache March bracket. Sean Jenkins in studio, ECU freshman pitcher. He did win. We reviewed it. He won the first round matchup against Nick Parham. Obviously, this is done for a great cause to raise awareness and money for ALS, which is obviously affected so many people, including Keith LeClaire. So great cause, but we're having some fun with this. So you did beat Nick Parham. Yeah. You were the 38th seed, which, from what I can tell, is third to last. David Lillis was the 40th.
Yeah, bottom of the bottom.
Yeah, but hey, you got to win. You took out 27th seed Nick Parham in the play-in game, and then you fell to Riley Johnson in round 2. So, but it's a solid showing.
Yeah, I mean, I got the upset, So.
Nick Parham didn't even have a mustache. You were right.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be back next year. Next year I might get like a glue on or something to try to give myself an advantage.
I need some rules though. Like at some point we got to establish. We got some guys who have like the goatee. We've got some guys who has the full beard. So we need more hard rules here. But hey, obviously for a great cause. So we are all in favor of Mustache March. All right, Sean Jenkins with us. In studio, you guys will go to Rice this coming weekend. Obviously, before that, take on Duke in the midweek, 4 road games on the road. You were telling me your first flight ever coming up?
I've never been on an airplane. So,
what are you expecting?
I don't really know, to be honest. I don't really know what it's like. Obviously, I'm expected that I'm going to get made fun of for sure, and people are going to be, cracking jokes, but. It'll be all good. I mean, it'll be a good experience. I'm excited to, first real road trip.
Yeah. Have you ever done like a roller coaster? Have you ever ridden a roller coaster?
Yeah.
Okay.
A bunch, yeah.
It's similar to that. I mean, the takeoff is the weirdest feeling because obviously when you're going in a roller coaster, you usually go up slow.
Right.
So the takeoff will be the weirdest feeling, but it's not.
Yeah,
You'll be fine.
I'm not too worried about it.
Yeah.
I'll be with all the guys, so it'll be a good experience.
And it can be a long trip out of Texas. So I assume you are flying commercial, but it's one of those things. It's more or less just figuring out the what you're going to do to pass the time, which we'll see how it goes. But good luck on your first flight. Johnny Robertson, Mr. Stats, is in the comment section. He doesn't have a question, but I do want to read this. He says, props to the Pirate pitching staff who had a 1.08 ERA this weekend. He says, this is the first time since 2001 that ECU has held a conference opponent to 4 runs or less in a weekend series. I don't know where he comes up with this stuff, but it's pretty good.
Good for the Pirate pitching staff.
No doubt. I think y'all should get more than a decent lunch, but hey, can't complain but so much. We were also talking too, man, walk-up song, Sean. You have some Avenged Sevenfold, Hail to the King.
Yep.
So take us through what led to you going with A7X as your intro music.
Well, growing up, like in the car with my dad, it was always like the 80s hair metal, like Motley Crue and all those guys. And then as I got older, I kind of found the, I guess you could call it divorced dad rock. I guess that's what people call it nowadays. And more of the hardcore stuff. And that's the walk-up song that I used in high school. I just found it when I was just listening to music one day. And I was like, this might be one of the coolest songs I've ever heard. So I was like, got to use it. And then once we got here and got the opportunity to pick, I was like, why not go with that one? Like, it's probably one of my favorite songs of all time.
And we were talking earlier, like it's got the perfect, slow build up for a pitcher, Yeah. So it fits the pitcher, and you get, a minute and a half to warm up or something? Mm-hmm. So it goes well. What about in high school, did you have a different walk-up song for hitting?
Yeah. When I hit my sophomore year, I did The Way I Live. It's like a 2000s rap song.
Okay.
And then my junior year last year, I did Stargazing by Travis Scott.
Okay. So you've got a nice little blend of different music.
Yeah, a little bit.
So you're not just a hard rock guy. But hey, as a fellow fan of rock, I'm a fan of A7X. We were talking Jaden Winter had Avenged Sevenfold last year as well. Have you ever been to like a rock concert or anything like that?
The only concert I've ever been to was Morgan Wallen.
Okay, so country.
Yeah.
Which I've heard is pretty cool.
Yeah, it was one of the coolest, events that I've ever seen.
So we got to get you on an airplane. That's happening. We got to get you to a rock concert too. Yeah. That'll happen soon enough. Speaking of your high school days, how about your buddy Braxton Trammell, man? Huge weekend for him. That had to be pretty cool. Y'all were high school teammates at Ford, for those unaware. So how cool was it to see him have a huge weekend?
I'm super proud of him. At the same time, I'm not surprised. Like, I've seen him have games like that my whole life, and like he deserves all the success that he is getting. Like, he's there every night doing extra mobility. He's hitting all the time. So I'm super, happy and proud for him that, once he got his opportunity, he was able to run with it.
You and him were both voted like one of the hardest working guys at your, pitching and hitting as freshmen. So like, first off, what are y'all doing at Ford High School that like y'all must have an incredible work ethic or routine or something because y'all came in ready to roll.
I mean, a lot of it was instilled at the place I trained at. I talked about that last time.
Yeah.
Like, I was super fortunate to have Athletes Lab Performance Center. I mean, it prepared me for this in so many ways. So I would say that we both trained there, and that's where that work ethic was instilled.
Now, did y'all face off at all in inter squads in the fall?
Yeah, we did. I mean, I faced him a bunch just growing up and throughout the fall.
Who usually is on the right side of that?
To be honest with you, me, but he definitely has his fair share of hits in there as well.
Has he ever taken you deep, though, home run?
He is not, no.
Okay. All right. Well, he hit one both sides of the plate, which was pretty awesome. First one was a little wind-aided. I mean, he even admitted that after the game. But second one, that was
he hit the crap out of the second one.
Yeah. That was rock. So, great weekend for the Pirates. Great weekend for Braxton and Sean as well. So going on the road, I don't know. Is it any different pitching? No. Knowing you'll pitch at some point in the Rice Series, we'll see what happens. Whether you'll follow an opener or start again. But do you have to bring any extra energy yourself on the road, or is it more relaxing on the road? Any thoughts there compared to pitching at home in front of 4,000?
obviously it's different just not being at home and having, the environment that this place provides. But in terms of like mentality, preparation, like everything's the same. It's just my job is to go out there, compete, and give the team the best chance to win, and that's not going to change no matter where we're at.
Sean Jenkins with us, and Major League Baseball starts this weekend. I know you're busy with college baseball. Will you try and follow any games, or are you just going to focus in on the Pirates?
Well, I mean, if there's definitely time, like I grew up a big Braves fan, so I definitely followed them some. But I mean, we're obviously super busy, so I don't know how much time there'll be.
Yeah, I have Ozzie Albies and the third baseman. Why can't I think of his name? Right? Austin Riley in my fantasy lineup this year. I'm hoping for a bounce back for both those guys. You think they're gonna have a bounce back season?
I mean, I would say yeah, for sure. I mean, those guys are both. I mean, they're the best in the world at what they do. So
Austin Riley's a stud. Any Braves pitchers you really like watching?
I mean, definitely Strider.
Yeah.
Like he's a
beast.
Super cool, and like in terms of like the analytics and like player development side, like he's super, I guess, modern and like does a lot of the similar stuff that I do. So it's super cool to see like how he trains.
Yeah, he's really good. I'm hoping he got the internal brace procedure done, and it sounds like he's been kicking butt in spring training.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see him back on the mound. Well, what are the big focuses for you as we wrap up here, Sean? Going into trying to build off this past start, we try to take the good bit off that going into another start or another outing here this coming weekend.
Well, I mean, for me, it's just to continue like my routines, and there was nothing ever really wrong with the routines. It was just the mentality of when I was getting out there. I wasn't in the best, I guess, headspace. So I know what I did to get to the point I was this weekend. So it's just continuing to have that mentality, not only when I pitch, but every day when I show up to the field, of that like killer mentality of it's time to get to work,
Just crank up the Avenged Sevenfold, and it'll get you going. All right, and some Slipknot too, maybe one day. All right, Sean Jenkins, great stuff again. 23club.org helping us out with this interview today. You guys can support the NIL initiative. 23club.org, NIL representative of Team Boneyard and ECU baseball. Sean, appreciate the time, man. Best of luck.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, best of luck at Rice in this week, and we'll keep it rolling, man. We'll get you back in here soon.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Absolutely. That's Sean Jenkins. We'll be right back. We'll have comments from Cliff Godwin, Patrick Johnson, and I. We'll catch up with him next. This is Hoist the Colors.
Hi, I'm D.R. Alligood.
And I'm his daughter, Jessica.
For 11 years, we have built quality driveways and parking lots for both your residential and commercial needs. We also offer free on-site quotes to have your custom driveways built the way you want.
252-946-1227.
Looking for a great deal on a new Nissan?
At Greenville Nissan, we've got a great selection of new Nissans for under $30,000.
The stylish Nissan Sentra, offering top-notch fuel economy. The Nissan Altima, known for its comfort and technology.
The Nissan Kicks, the perfect combination with its compact design and performance. The Nissan Versa, delivering incredible value without compromising on features. And don't forget the Nissan Rogue, an award winner for 10 years in a row. Drive it home just for $22 down and $349 a month.
Visit GreenvilleNissan.com today.
Greenville Nissan, where we drive to serve.
You know what the problem is with standard belts? Usually you have to choose between too tight or the opposite, too loose. But with Anson Belt and Buckle, you don't have to choose. We got rid of the holes and instead have a track system designed for micro-adjustability. That way you can enjoy a perfect fit every time. Anson Belt and Buckle. Find your perfect fit today.
Your confidence makes everything look good. You see the world in vivid color, not black and white. Swing through your neighborhood Fantastic Sam's Cut in Color and let our experienced stylists take you from everyday to extraordinary.
Fantastic Sam's hair salons are locally owned and operated. Our full-service salons are conveniently located in Goldsboro, Kinston, Greenville, New Bern, Jacksonville, and Calabash. Stop in today at Fantastic Sam's, where the possibilities are endless.
Other restaurants claim their food is fresh and fast, but are they friendly? At Moore's, you're treated like family the minute you walk into their doors. With locations in Winterville, New Bern, Swansboro, Morehead City, and Jacksonville. We've been practicing what we preach since 1945. At Moore's, our barbecue is slow cooked and smoked over real wood daily until it's so tender it's falling off the bone. Combined with our fresh chicken, cooked-to-order seafood, and homemade fixins, we're sure you'll agree. If it's not Moore's, it's less.
Hi, I'm D.R. Alligood.
And I'm his daughter, Jessica.
For 11 years, we have built quality driveways and parking lots for both your residential and commercial needs. We also offer free on-site quotes to have your custom driveways built the way you want.
252-946-1227.
Pirate fans, 2025 East Carolina football season tickets are on sale now and can be purchased for as little as $115. Head coach Blake Harrell wants you to be a part of his first full season as the Pirate coach as he builds momentum off of the 8-win season and the Military Bowl win over North Carolina State. Call 1-800-DIAL-ECU or go to ECUPirates.com today to get your 2025 season tickets.
Back to Hoist the Colors with Steve and Igo.
Drink up for me, hearties, yo ho.
On 94.3 The Game.
Alongside Steve and Igo, I'm Patrick Johnson, and we're joined by the head coach of the Pirates, Cliff Godwin. ECU getting off to a sensational start in American Athletic Conference play. Won a couple of really tight, well-pitched, well-defended games on both ends, Friday and Saturday, and then the Pirates with the victory with 3 home runs on Sunday. Coach, congratulations. Great weekend for the Pirates, and a lot to talk about, but let's start by congratulating you on a really good start to conference play this weekend.
I appreciate it. Yeah, we, like you said, had 2 tight games on Friday and Saturday and played great defense, pitched great. And then yesterday we pitched well, didn't play great defense, but swung the bats really well. So normally when you can do 2 of the 3 areas at a high level, it gives you a chance to win the game. And definitely just proud of the way our guys showed up yesterday, because I was a little bit worried of how they were going to show up mentally, and they were ready to go, and the crowd was awesome. So great to get the opening conference weekend sweep at home is always very, very beneficial.
Yeah, the crowd was really great yesterday. That noon start, I think some people thought, okay, but they showed up. I know through the first 2 days, it was over 9,000, over 9,100 were there. So, hey, got some good weather, and Pirate Nation responded, which is always a big thing.
For sure. I mean, I thought the crowd was probably the best it's been all year was yesterday. And we did do some things to get them excited, like hit some home runs and score runs. But I thought the crowd was awesome. It's the loudest that I've heard it this year, which is what our guys need for sure.
Cliff, before I let Igo talk with you and ask you, pepper you with a bunch of questions, we'll talk about Sean Jenkins. He came out yesterday. It was kind of the inverse. It was D'Lo then Jenkins rather than Jenkins then D'Lo. But, Jenkins was really fantastic yesterday, was able to pitch through a few fits of trouble here and there, kind of harnessed his breaking stuff, and I thought did a really nice job for you. He talked about mentality and working on that. So could you just assess his performance, and then maybe some of the things that he and AK have been working on to get him to be the Sean Jenkins that you guys saw in the fall?
Well, actually, we just had our staff Bible study this morning, and we were in here talking, and Braxton Trammell and Sean Jenkins, they come from the same high school. They are really self-made players. And that kind of worked against them early in the season, because anytime a result didn't happen the way they wanted, it would, hey, let's go back to the drawing board and let's try something different. And you can get lost of who you are as a hitter or a pitcher or as a person, basically, when you have that many thoughts going through your head. And, Sean had to get back to, he's got some mechanical stuff because he kind of messed that up when he went home for Christmas break, and AK and him have been working to get that stuff back in line. But really it was about competing and stop worrying about what your mechanics are, and man, let's get the ball over the plate and let's get your slider for a strike. And that was definitely the difference yesterday, was he was able to land his breaking stuff for strikes and then throw it out of the zone, because he has not been able to do that consistently his past couple outings.
Cliff Godwin with us here on a Monday morning chat. We'll do this weekly throughout the remainder of the season. Coach, I wanted to ask you about going with D'Lo, Jackson DiLorenzo as the opener. Obviously, we know he's got the stuff. We've seen him pitching big moments last year. He struggled some with command this year. Just the thought process behind that, and seeing him have a successful outing, how good was that to see?
Well, that was great. The mind is such a powerful thing. I tell our guys all the time, everybody wants to go work on, their swing in the cages and, work on their throwing mechanics or doing all this stuff. I'm like, hey, man, if you don't work on your mind, dude, like it's going to show up in a very negative way because you don't have as a coach a shot of confidence and a shot of belief. If you did, man, every one of your players would be playing at a high level. But D'Lo has wavered at times with his confidence, and we thought opening him up would take a little pressure off of him because it's not the end of the game. And for him to go out there and hit, the plan was for him to throw one inning. And of course, the game challenged him yesterday. We drop a pop fly, which never happens with AP, and the guy standing at second base with no outs. But D'Lo was able to navigate that inning, get the guy to third base with one out, and then get a pop up to Irby and then get us off the field without giving up a run. I thought it was a big momentum swing. And then, Irby has the big 2-out double in left center field that drives in Dixon and Seawall. So we were off and rolling there in the first inning, which was great to see.
Coach, I wanted to follow up on Braxton. Obviously, we saw him have a really good preseason, offseason. How interesting is it for you as a hitting coach and a guy who obviously is heavily involved with the offense with a switch hitter specifically? Like, how tough is it for a freshman, let alone a guy who has really two different swings to kind of, perfect both sides or try to get as locked in from both sides of the plate, especially when he's not maybe in the lineup every day early in his career?
Well, he did that to himself because he was trying to change stuff. And I don't mean that in a bad way for Braxton. Sometimes they just get in their head too much. And, Braxton and I had a lot of conversations, like I said, in the media. Like I could see it coming before we played our first game, and he just was putting this external pressure on himself or internal pressure on himself at such a high level that he was playing in a straitjacket. Well, sometimes you just got to sit down and just watch the game. And I think – I don't tell every player this, but he works so hard. Like, you just got to go out and have fun. And I always say, hey, play wiffle ball in the backyard. And he goes, like, blitz ball, coach? And I said, yeah, you're aging me a little bit. So blitz ball, whatever you need to do, just go out there and have fun, man. And but he looked like he was really enjoying himself this weekend. And, he swung the bat great for us all weekend. And we knew that's who he is. But like I said, the mind's the strongest part of your body. And if that is off tilt a little bit, it don't matter how good your mechanics are, you're not going to be as good as you can be.
Coach, we've seen Colby Wallace obviously hit the ball better, but I thought he played third base just phenomenal all weekend. He made a lot of tough plays, and just how far has he come in that regard? And I know he's cross-trained a little bit at first as well, and just his progression early this season for you guys.
Well, Jeff does such a great job with our infielders overall. You go back to last year, and I can remember we were at FAU. Starling's hurt. We played Chaz Myers at second base on opening night, and he just didn't play great. And I grabbed Jeff, was like, hey, can Colby Wallace play third base and us move Dixon to second? Can he, be good enough at third? He goes, yeah. And we went 10-2 in those 12 games. So Colby's a competitor, number one, but he's worked his tail off at third base with Jeff. And I agree. There's a lot of plays over there. If you're not really watching the game, you don't understand how difficult it was. But I told our team after the game, if you want to see what mentally engaged looks like, go back and watch the defensive side of the ball from yesterday. And the reason I say that is Seawall had some plays, man, where there was no self-doubt. It was very intentional in his prep work, and he was ready to go. And even on the ball he threw to second base where we didn't get the guy a second, he was committed. I'm going there, and I know Dixon can get the ball to first base, and if we don't turn the double play, we'll at least get the ball, get the runner out at first base. And that's what I've been harping on this team about is, can we mentally show up? Because such a lost art and of guys just being able to show up every day. They all say they want to play in the big leagues, which is a 162 game schedule when we play 56 regular season games. Like, if you can't show up for 56 regular season games, then hey man, you're never going to play in the big leagues. So, but I was proud the way our guys showed up mentally yesterday, but Seawall was a big piece of that.
Cliff Godwin visiting with Stephen Igo and myself here. Appreciate Coach and his time, as always. Cliff, when you look at Braden Burris, and we've talked about him, but he gets on base 3 times in each of the last 2 games, 8 for the weekend. I talked to Dixon last week when you brought him to the Network Coach Show, and he was just talking about what a table setter that Burris has become. again, it's someone that went to the bench for a little bit, has come off and has taken advantage of his opportunities and done so in a big way, and made some nice plays, obviously out in right field. Probably robbed a couple home runs from Memphis during the course of the series, did Burris.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I talked to our team yesterday about, hey, winning plays, like winning mentality. And the first batter of Saturday's game and the wind's galing out, Braden's a high school shortstop. He's mostly played left field, but we throw him in right. And he really could play anywhere on the field. I think he could even catch. But, you know, it's a tough read because it's kind of just a little bit to the right, and then the wind's pushing it back to him. And I mean, he makes an unbelievable catch. Well, that sets the tone for the game right there, that Memphis smokes the ball, lead off the game, and we make an unbelievable play. And, you know, Braden is, he's a gamer, man. He knows how to play the game. On Saturday, when Dixon drove in the third run, we didn't run earlier in the count, even though Braden could have stole second, because you leave that four-hole open in case Dixon rolls the ball through the four-hole between first and second. Well, it's a 2-2 count. We're now running, and Braden is about to hit second, but he didn't know if the guy was going to get it, so he has to like slide and pop up, then hit second base, and then get to third base, and just little stuff like that you see Riley Johnson do. He was coached really well by his dad, who is a guy I have a lot of respect for because he was a senior at Green Central when I was a freshman, and he basically led us to the state championship. But he knows the game of baseball at a very high level, and that IQ allows him to get the most out of his ability, and he's extremely competitive. He's a throwback from an Alec Burleson mentality of like, hey, man, I came here to win, and that's all I care about, and I don't care what it looks like. I'll walk, I'll get hit by pitches, I'll battle with 2 strikes, and he's just brought some toughness to our lineup, which I really appreciate.
You saw Bodine. I thought Jonas Sutton from Memphis was a really good catcher. Obviously had success in throwing you all out. But Walker Barron has been just magnificent, has been a real Iron Man behind there. You played the position. Can you maybe put into words how really great Walker Barron has been this year on the whole, catching every game for you?
Well, he's been awesome. I mean, he's taken on, but we knew that going into the season, and we, tried to prepare him mentally. I do think the last week has weared on him mentally. As I've talked to him, Coach Knight's talked to him, and, everybody wants it until it's not as easy as what you thought it was. And he's not a big guy by any means, and is probably the catcher that has taken on the most workload here since like a Jake Washer and Travis Watkins at times, where they're pretty much catching every game. But those guys were a little bit bigger physically than Walker is. But we're just trying to do a really good job with his nutrition, with his proactive just body care, making sure his legs are fresh, his arms fresh, all that good stuff. But he's the guy, so he's our best option, and he's going to be back there a whole lot. And we need him just to continue to focus on doing a great job behind the plate and not letting his offense maybe him worry about that too much. I mean, he's putting together quality at bats for us, but I think sometimes he can get frustrated with his offensive game. And then, not that it leads into his defense, he's done a good job with that, but it just wears on him mentally.
Coach, love the answer when you were asked, hey, you moved back to coaching third because I'm the head coach. Great answer. But you also said as part of that, you felt like you'd gotten a pretty good finger on the pulse of the team. So what specifically, outside of you felt like some signs were missed, what specifically did you realize in that time in the dugout that made you comfortable with going back to third to coach?
Well, and first off, Patrick, and people, I can't believe people like care enough, I guess, to make a big deal about me coaching third or being in the dugout. Number one, I always make every decision in the best interest of our organization. It's not about me. It's never been about me. And I've got to do what's best for our team. And when I initially made the decision, I thought it was best for me to be in the dugout because I needed to talk to some young players and give them some comfort when they were walking up to the plate. Also, just being able to talk with Coach Knight more about our pitching staff and who's going in, and which it just made things a little bit easier. Well, when it's becoming a detriment because we're missing signs at first base, and Jeff Palumbo's the best first base coach I've ever worked with. He's an X factor. I think a lot of people think that base coaches don't do a lot. I mean, what Jeff does with our guys and understand the guys' moves to first base and what Like, do they need a 9-foot lead, 10-foot lead, 11-foot lead to be able to steal this base? All those things. I mean, he's over there, and we never miss signs when he's over there. So I had to make a decision in the best interest of our organization to put Jeff back over there and me go to third. And it's going to. I mean, we ran a play on Saturday that Jeff and I only would have been able to execute because it was a hand signal that I gave to Jeff in the base runner last minute, and he was able to see it. When stuff like that can't happen if you don't have the synergy between two people that have done those roles for a long time, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cliff Godwin with us here. Ask him a couple more things, get him out of here on this Monday. Coach, wanted to follow up on the bullpen performance over the weekend, and really good pitching all around. I think just 4 runs allowed in 3 games, but we saw the best version of Brad Pruitt. We saw Ethan Young continue to put together an incredible season. Just those 2 guys solidifying the back end of that bullpen, and the flexibility of them to enter in the early innings and go long. Just what does that mean when you guys have been a little banged up on the pitching staff?
Well, don't forget Jay Connor too. I mean, the 2 innings he threw. But really those 3 guys have been really crucial for us. And I think what fans need to understand with the way our pitching staff's set up right now, with some of the injuries that we've had, it's probably going to look unconventional at times, and we've hammered that home to all the pitchers. Just like yesterday, I mean, I had never thought that D'Lo would open a game until Saturday after the game. AK and I were talking about it. I was like, yeah, man, let's do it. He's going to throw anyway, so just have him start the game. And he was able to do that. And then we weren't expecting Sean to come in and throw 6 innings. We were hoping to get 1 to 3, to be honest with you, and then continue to kind of mix and match as we got to the end of the game. But Sean was tremendous, and sometimes it takes guys sitting down and maybe being in a different role for them to maybe not put as much pressure on themselves, maybe just not think as much, whatever it may be. So as coaches, you got to get creative, and that's one thing I appreciate about our coaching staff, whether it's traditional or not. Man, we're always looking for answers to try to get a little bit better. And I was proud to see our guys perform at a high level this weekend.
Coach, when you look at the lineup too, in the offseason, we were like, we always got to have something to talk about in the media. We were like, where's the power going to come from with the team? And, not that there's like 1 or 2 massive home run hitters, but you kind of look at the stats, and right now y'all have hit 33 in 24 games compared to 15 given up. And it just seems like everybody in the lineup at times is a threat to go deep, although there's not maybe that 1 or 2 massive home run hitter. Just how have you liked, and I know you don't want to rely on that, but how have you liked kind of the power dispersed throughout the lineup with some doubles mixed in as well?
Well, I mean, you always want to have some power in the lineup, and then I think this team we thought was going to be like extremely dynamic. When you think about the Riley Johnson injury, well, if he's playing, then you've got 3 guys in the lineup for sure that are like elite base stealers. You throw AP in there. If he was in there every day, then you got 4, and then you've got guys like Dixon Williams, Colby Wallace, Austin Irby, and now Braxton Trammell, Big John, that can run the ball out the yard. So you had a lot. You to put as much pressure on teams as you could. But I've been very excited how we've performed over the past couple weeks. I was not happy with our offensive performance on Saturday, and I was actually talking to Burley yesterday after the game, and it's funny, guys that have played in our program that don't watch every game, but they have a pretty good pulse on what's going on. And he was like, yeah, at times this year offensively, it looks like everybody in there is kind of either trying to keep their job individually or trying to earn their spot instead of there being like a team approach. And I'm like, well, Burley, you've played in our system long enough to be able to just identify that at a high level. And that was really what I was angry at our guys about. Man, it's all about the team. We're not good enough to be individuals in that lineup. And I thought our guys did a good job of that yesterday.
Last question for Coach. I know you provided an update on Riley Johnson after the game yesterday. Just sounds like he'll get a cortisone shot, and you guys are hoping that progresses in the coming days. Maybe he can give this thing a go.
Yeah, so he got a cortisone shot on Friday, 2 days of not doing anything. And then yesterday, Sunday, he was able to jog at 75% without any pain, which is a positive because I don't think he has been able to do that really since maybe December. So we're keeping our fingers crossed, and we're praying about it. And, I hope that cortisone shot works so we can get him out there. But hopefully, if everything goes well, maybe next weekend you'll see him get into a game. But he's got to build up. He's got to get through these next couple days, and we'll have a better idea after these next couple days.
He is head coach Cliff Godwin. Coach, we appreciate the time on this Monday. I know you're busy as always. So for Patrick Johnson, I'm Stephen Igo. Thanks, Cliff.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, there's our conversation with head coach Cliff Godwin. We'll get a break in. We'll come back. We'll wrap up the show right after this.
It's time to bring on the savings at Greenville Toyota with huge discounts on over 125 new Toyotas, like a Camry $269 a month or RAV4 $339 a month. Now bring yourself to Greenville Toyota and save.
The team of Flatlands Jessup is working overtime to help ensure that Eastern North Carolinians like you get the health insurance help you need this open enrollment period. New legislation passed meaning more people than ever qualify for affordable coverage. Let us help you today.
The best burgers around. Everyone loves a thick, juicy, and fresh burger. Tiebreakers does real burgers better than anybody. And don't forget about the cheese sticks, fresh salads, and more. So don't just go to any burger-themed restaurant chain. It's time to break the chain and eat local. Tiebreakers, burgers and sports at its best.
Everybody loves Tiebreakers.
Big tax credits are back. Get a 30% tax credit, up to $2,000 off your new Mitsubishi electric heat pump install. Let Comfort Master help you take advantage of the tax credits with a qualifying Mitsubishi electric ducted heat pump or non-ducted Mitsubishi electric mini splits. Mitsubishi electric mini splits are ideal for bonus rooms, garages, or sunrooms. If you need a new HVAC unit, call Comfort Master today.
Call Comfort Master. Call Comfort Master.
Tired of the 1-800 numbers advertising Medicare products? Flatlands Jessup has 6 offices all throughout Eastern North Carolina. Get face-to-face help from our local award-winning licensed team. Stop by today. Flatlands Jessup, your whole world covered.
Your roof is a vital part of protecting your home and family from dangerous storms and hurricanes. At Assist Roofing, we install and maintain metal roofing that provides precise protection. Add value to your home while lowering utility costs with a fortified roof to last a lifetime. With 0% financing, grants, and Energy Star Green Roofing tax credit available. Call us to schedule a free consultation so you can weather any storm with confidence.
You know what the problem is with standard belts? Usually you have to choose between too tight or the opposite, too loose. But with Anson Belt and Buckle, you don't have to choose. We got rid of the holes and instead have a track system designed for micro-adjustability. That way you can enjoy a perfect fit every time. Anson Belt and Buckle. Find your perfect fit today.
Get ready, because it's time to bring on the savings at Greenville Toyota. Get huge discounts on over 125 new Toyotas, like a Corolla, $239 a month, or Tacoma, $349 a month. Bring on the savings today at Greenville Toyota.
What's happening?
Tell me what's happening. Every ECU fan's one stop for all things ECU athletics. This is Hoist the Colors with Stephen Igo on 94.3 The Game.
All right, welcome back in. Hoist the Colors, final segment here. Busy show today. Interviews with Sean Jenkins and Cliff Godwin on the ECU baseball front. Pirates sweep Memphis. Also, the transfer portal for NCAA basketball has officially opened. And so we've got news regarding that. We'll start with the positive news, which is really the big news here thus far. J. Shane Woodard has announced his return for the 2025-26 season. He says, can't wait to pack Minji's next season. In a graphic, Pirate Nation, thank you, Pirate Nation, and Team Boneyard for making this place so special. ECU, we have more history to be made. We're not done yet. So would not expect this to be the last announcement like this today. Here in Jordan Riley, we should hear something soon there in a positive front, and also Travion LeBeau, if everything goes according to plan. Now, players leaving the program officially with the portal opening, no big surprises here. 3 guys towards the bottom of the roster. Callum Richard, Sear Malonga, who had previously already announced he officially entered the portal today with it opening, and then also the third being Ben Salvungo. So 3 sophomores who really were towards the end of the rotation this past season. No big surprises here. But the big news, Jay Shane Woodard returning, and it feels like ECU via Team Boneyard, the collective, Philip Pilkington producing today. He'll weigh in here. Feels like, Philip, that the players ECU wants back, we're starting to see that trend in the positive direction already. And really no big surprises with entries into the portal yet.
No, it's not. And like you said, the portal is the thing that's going to happen every year, but you want to keep the guys you want to keep. And I know it kind of sounds cliche, but it's true. There are certain guys, whether it be from a talent standpoint of being able to score or a toughness standpoint and a culture standpoint. Jay Shane Woodard is one of those guys. He's going to give you anywhere from 12 to 25 minutes a game. They're going to be tough. He's going to dive on the floor for loose balls. He is bought into what Mike Schwartz wants to do. That's one of these Mike Schwartz type guys. He's very much the culture of East Carolina basketball, so it's good to have him back. Obviously, he can score. He's not a phenomenal scorer, but you can always get, if on a good night, you can get 8 to 10 out of him, which is still good. He's a threat to put the ball in the basket. So good to see him stay, and you hope that a guy like that, a leader like that, a guy with the attitude that he has staying will, help some of these other guys that you want to see also stay.
And we'll keep you updated throughout this week. The only guy I'm not real sure on where he sits at this point is Jan Farrell. I think ECU would like him back because he's a shooter, but I don't know what his thought process is. I'm hearing good things again on the Jordan Riley and Trayvon LeBeau front. You can sign up now, hoistthecolors.net. I had a report on this, I believe, Friday or Saturday, how these things were trending. And VIP, you can get 50% off VIP subscription as we're running a March Madness special. Also, spring practice starts tomorrow. Philip, there's a lot going on. Baseball, basketball portal, spring practice, NCAA tournament, MLB starts this week. We're going to have our MLB show special tomorrow. We're going to talk a lot of ECU. So there's a lot happening. You're into NASCAR. That's going on. I'm starting to feel overwhelmed, honestly.
Man, I was feeling more overwhelmed, I think, 2 weeks ago when we had all these basketball games being played at midnight. But it is a little overwhelming. So the thing is, with spring practice for me, because I don't have to do the writing, I kind of get to go out there and observe, get to talk to the coaches, and it's all kind of fun. I think when you're not on the writing side of things, when you're more on the radio side of things, hey, a little chance to talk football. This is great. I can see for you it's a little more overwhelming. Yeah, it's going to be tough to watch as much MLB as we want to, especially with the Sweet 16 going on at the same time, but it worked out for me. Sox play at 3 or 4. Duke doesn't play till 9:30, so I'll be set on Thursday. So I'm good there. I'm excited. You're right, it's not relaxing, but hey, never a dull moment when you cover sports.
Except for in July when there's really nothing going on.
Yeah, man. When you got it, the biggest talk is, like Bill Nye the Science Guy dropping a fly ball in the Celebrity All-Star softball game.
That's why we don't do a show in July. We take the time off. NCAA tournament, Philip, I got to be honest, probably the most disappointing. And look, we're all victims of the moment, so this is probably an inaccurate statement, but it feels like it was the most disappointing weekend of opening NCAA tournament play in quite some time.
Yeah, the fact that you had every seed 1 through 4 advance in all 4 brackets for the first time since 2017 is going to do that. But even it felt like, especially Thursday and Friday, the games were not really close. And even the ones that were, as long as you watched the last 20 seconds, you were good. But I thought late Saturday night, it got a little better. Obviously, we were over at Bobby's. That was a good time. And then last night, honestly, as the night went on, I don't know if you were in bed, but I ended up staying up for it all. It actually got really good late last night. The Maryland game, beating Colorado State, and then that final game was the final game Sparty. No, the Sparty New Mexico game, which wasn't even the final game. Yeah, so those last couple games were pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy that my Final Four teams are alive, but at the same time, I would have liked to see one of them get knocked off. But yeah, that is interesting. The top 4 seeds. How do you feel? Look, I've got Duke winning. Do you have Duke winning in your bracket?
No. I don't like the way they match up with Houston. I've got Houston winning it.
Okay, so Duke, Arizona, these two teams played in Arizona, right? And Duke took it to them pretty good?
don't know if that's the word. They got out to an early lead.
Yeah.
It was one of those games where it felt like Arizona was chasing the whole time. Duke at that time just looked like the more talented team, but, taking it to them might be a little bit of an overstatement. They're 8.5, 9.5 point favorites, something like that. It'll be interesting. It's tough to beat a team twice in 1 year. I said the same thing going into the national championship game against Wisconsin because they had beat them in the Big Ten ACC Challenge. Duke had, and it worked out. But also, Caleb Love does have some good history.
I was going to say, are you tired of seeing Caleb Love yet?
Yeah, man, he's got Duke's number. He came to Cameron as a member of Arizona his first year there and won because that was a home and home. Duke has only lost 3 out-of-conference home games since 1999. Lost to Stephen F. Austin, lost to St. John's back in 99, and then, a couple years ago to Auburn. So, yeah, a little tired of Caleb Love, and, he's a good, heck of a ball player and a good kid, but I hope his career comes to an end on Thursday night.
The one good thing about no upsets or not many upsets is it does create awesome Sweet 16 matchups.
Yeah, you don't have like St. Peter's in this. It's like, well, they're playing Carolina in the Elite Eight. Carolina's going to win by 35.
I think the Sweet 16 has potential to be really good. Kentucky, Tennessee, Texas Tech, Arkansas, Florida, Maryland, Houston, Purdue, BYU, Bama, Ole Miss, Michigan State, Auburn, Michigan. So there's going to be some good games, and we'll see who prevails. All right, again, tomorrow's show, we're going to have Joe Sampson join us. It is going to be an MLB season preview special. Opening day is Thursday, and we got to get Joe on to talk about the Yankees, also explain why he hates the St. Louis Cardinals. Nobody hates the St. Louis Cardinals quite like Joe Sampson. So he's going to join us. We're going to do the full hour MLB preview. And yes, there will be ECU talk because we have Clayton McCullough managing the Marlins, Connor Norby on the Marlins, Gavin Williams, Alec Burleson, Jeff Hoffman, Sean Armstrong. So we'll have plenty of ECU talk in our MLB preview as well. So looking forward to that on Tuesday. Philip, appreciate you. Cliff Godwin, Sean Jenkins, thanks to them as well. We'll be back tomorrow at 12 noon. See you then.
This has been